Let's dive into our first story. Arman Tsarukyan faced heavy criticism. Earlier this year, after withdrawing from UFC 311, fans and critics alike questioned his commitment. But it's important to recognize that he hasn't been left to face the backlash alone. Several members of the MMA community have come to his defense, including one of the sport's most respected voices, former two-division UFC champion and current analyst Daniel Cormier. In a recent video that quickly gained traction online, Cormier addressed the controversy, emphasizing that Tsarukyan's situation is being blown out of proportion. "I'm not saying Arman's this guy that constantly pulls out or doesn't make it to the scale or the fight," Cormier explained. "It happened one time. He should not be judged solely on that one occasion, especially after making weight and preparing to fight as a backup in the last event." Cormier called for context and understanding, reinforcing that this isn't a pattern of behavior for "I'm just trying to give a little grace to the other side in regards to why that may have happened," he added. Coming from someone with Cormier's experience inside the octagon and credibility as a commentator, his words carry serious weight. In the ongoing conversation surrounding Arman's reputation, Cormier also voiced his support for a future showdown between Tsarukyan and Ilia Topuria, saying, "At the end of the day, I agree with y'all. It should be Arman versus Ilia, and I don't think there's any question about that." However, he also pointed to one moment that may still be affecting public perception, what he called a lasting memory. Cormier referenced Tsarukyan's verbal exchange with Paddy Pimblett inside the octagon after a recent event. That moment, whether staged or spontaneous, made a strong impression on fans and continues to influence how Arman is viewed today, as the UFC continues to shape future matchups. A potential fight between Paddy Pimblett and Ilia Topuria is gaining traction. The star power, contrasting personalities, and marketing appeal are undeniable. But the question remains, does Paddy deserve that title shot more than Arman? On paper, and by UFC rankings, many argue that Tsarukyan has done more to earn the opportunity. He's faced tougher opponents, taken bigger risks, and aside from one withdrawal proven to be consistent and reliable. Meanwhile, critics of Pimblett suggest that his rise is more about popularity than performance, and that he may be getting fast-tracked to the top without truly earning it. So now the debate is clear. Hype versus hard-earned merit. Daniel Cormier is firmly on the side of merit, and with good reason. It's hard to argue against Arman's resume and the challenges he's overcome. But what do you think? Who deserves the next shot at UFC gold? Is it finally time for Arman Tsarukyan to claim his place in the spotlight, or has Paddy Pimblett truly earned his moment? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Sean O'Malley is no longer the UFC's bantamweight king. And while that's undoubtedly a tough pill to swallow, the ever-charismatic Sugar Sean is doing his best to stay upbeat and forward-looking. The former champion, known for his flair and fearless striking, is handling the disappointment with surprising optimism. After being submitted by Merab Dvalishvili in the third round of their June title bout, O'Malley has remained in the spotlight, just not with the gold around his waist. The loss was a shock to many, especially considering the hype surrounding the fight. But Merab proved why he's one of the most relentless fighters in the division, overwhelming O'Malley with unrelenting grappling and pressure. Still, O'Malley isn't retreating into the shadows. In fact, he recently made an appearance on Mike Perry's podcast and, true to form, brought both honesty and humor to the conversation. When asked about life without the belt, Sean joked that there's at least one upside: he no longer has to deal with the stress of championship weight cuts or 5-round wars. "So, you can make that 18 to 20 pound cut to 135 real easy now?" Perry asked. O'Malley laughed and replied, "Oh yeah, to 136 now, baby. Yes sir, no more champ. We got them 3-round bangers." Behind the jokes, though, was a clear sense of transition. Sean is adjusting to this new chapter. No more belt for now, but also no more grueling prep for title defenses. Shorter fights, lighter cuts, and a bit more breathing room to evolve could be exactly what he needs. What makes things even more intriguing is the long-standing speculation that O'Malley might move up to featherweight. At 5 feet 11 and reportedly walking around at 160 pounds, he's one of the bigger fighters at bantamweight, and repeatedly cutting to 135 is no easy feat. His coach, Tim Welch, has addressed the potential move, saying it's not just possible, it might be ideal. According to Welch, if they take 6 to 7 months to add a few pounds of lean muscle, Sean could absolutely be competitive at 145. "These weight cuts are brutal," Welch said. "People don't realize the toll they take, not just physically, but mentally." So where does Sean O'Malley go from here? Does he stay at bantamweight to earn another title shot? Or is now the perfect time to step into the featherweight division and face a new crop of contenders? No matter what decision he makes, one thing is certain: Sean O'Malley remains one of the UFC's biggest stars. From his electric striking to his unforgettable walkouts, whenever Sugar steps into the octagon, the MMA world pays attention. But what do you think? Should O'Malley stay at bantamweight and climb back to the top, or test himself at featherweight and take on new challenges? Let us know in the comments below. Once again, Conor McGregor is back in the headlines, but not for a fight inside the octagon. This time, it's another chapter in his ongoing legal saga. The former UFC double champion recently lost an appeal in a civil case stemming from an alleged incident dating back to 2018. The court's decision upheld the previous verdict against McGregor, dealing a major legal blow and keeping the controversy squarely in the public spotlight. Following the ruling, McGregor took to social media to voice his frustrations. In a strongly worded post, he wrote, "James Lawrence was awarded his clearance. I won't say innocence, because we were both long past the shakedown when he was awarded this. He was cleared in a civil trial but was not awarded his costs. How incredibly wrong. I fight on with the truth and will continue to defend myself." He followed this with an emotional message directed at his fans and supporters in Ireland. Ireland, amidst this shakeup, don't let it distract you. You can see what I'm up against here. And we knew this would always be the case. We fight on. McGregor also shared his perspective on how the legal proceedings unfolded, stating, "The trial had begun, and it was just her story out there. When she was caught in lies before I even had a chance to respond, they asked me to settle. I said, no chance. The truth, and only the truth, shall set you free." Despite standing firm in his denial, McGregor's legal troubles appear far from over. According to a report by the Irish Mirror, the alleged victim, Nikita Hand, has now filed a new lawsuit, this time against her former neighbors, including McGregor's own mother. And McGregor. Hand is seeking aggravated and punitive damages, along with legal costs, and is accusing the neighbors of defamation related to the events following the 2018 incident. In a surprising twist, those same neighbors had initially submitted a sworn affidavit claiming they saw Hand in a physical altercation with her ex-partner after the alleged incident with McGregor. However, just as the appeal process began, they withdrew that affidavit, an unexpected move that has only added more controversy to the case. In a public statement after the appeal ruling, Hand shared her emotional response. "I'm deeply grateful for everyone who supported me, believed in me, and stood by my side during this long and painful journey. This appeal has traumatized me again and again, being forced to relive it. What happened has had a huge impact on me. For every survivor out there, I know how hard it is, but please don't stay silent. You deserve to be heard. You deserve justice. Today, I can finally move on and try to heal. Thank you." The case has sparked widespread reaction not only in Ireland but across the global MMA community. Some argue that McGregor is being unfairly targeted because of his fame and wealth. Others insist that accountability is essential, regardless of celebrity status. Regardless of public opinion, one thing is certain: this legal saga is far from over. And knowing Conor McGregor, this likely won't be the last time we hear from him on the matter. Stay tuned for further updates on this unfolding story. Let's shift gears to another major headline that's lighting up the MMA world. The jaw-dropping transformation of middleweight champion Dricus Du Plessis. We're just weeks away from one of the most anticipated showdowns in recent memory, UFC 319, where undefeated contender Khamzat Chimaev will challenge Du Plessis for the middleweight crown. As the hype continues to build, the spotlight has shifted to Du Plessis' insane physical transformation, and the MMA community can't stop talking about it. Earlier this week, Du Plessis' team released a training photo that instantly went viral. The South African champ appeared absolutely shredded, muscular, and clearly in peak condition. The image sent shockwaves across social media. But that was just the beginning. Late last night, Du Plessis dropped high-energy training footage showcasing sharp, striking, explosive movement, and elite-level focus. It wasn't just about aesthetics. He looked fast, powerful, and dangerous. As expected, fans and fighters alike lit up the internet with reactions. One fan commented, "His physique looks incredible, but will it be enough to withstand Kham's relentless pace and grappling?" It's a fair question. Chimaev is known for his suffocating top control, explosive takedowns, and non-stop pressure. He's overwhelmed every opponent he's faced with his sheer physical dominance. Others focused on the stylistic chess match this fight promises to be. "This is a classic striker versus grappler showdown," wrote one user. "I can't wait to see who imposes their game plan first." Then came the bold predictions. Du Plessis is too big for Khamzat Du Plessis by KO, claimed one fan. Another quickly fired back. More muscle, less cardio. All that just to get subbed in 74 seconds. The debate raged on. Some believe Du Plessis may try to take the fight into the clinch early, even attempt to grapple Khamzat and impose physical dominance. "I have a strange feeling he's going to try and overpower Chimaev from the start," one fan theorized. "Khamzat can't ragdoll him, he's too strong." Others analyzed the transformation from a technical perspective. His hips are wide, which might make it harder for Chimaev to lock his hands and chain takedowns, noted a keen-eyed viewer. Whether Du Plessis' physique will translate into fight night performance remains to be seen. Added muscle can mean improved strength and durability, but it can also lead to reduced cardio and faster fatigue. The big question is, will this version of Du Plessis be able to stuff the takedown, push the pace, and land heavy shots, or will the added size cost him against a pressure machine like Khamzat? And if you're wondering how Chimaev looks heading into UFC 319, he's not slacking either. He recently posted his own training footage, looking calm, confident, and as intense as ever. His wrestling, cardio, and focus remain razor sharp. So now the stage is set. A physically transformed champion, an undefeated wrecking machine challenger. High stakes, high drama. Who are you backing at UFC 319? Is Du Plessis' transformation the sign of a champion leveling up, or is Khamzat simply built different? Let us know your predictions in the comments below, and stay tuned for full coverage leading up to the middleweight title clash at UFC 319. As the MMA world counts down to UFC 319, where Khamzat Chimaev and Dricus Du Plessis are set to clash in one of the year's most anticipated title fights. Another fighter is quietly drawing attention, and for good reason. That fighter is none other than number 6 ranked middleweight contender, CCO Baralho. Baralho isn't making headlines for a highlight reel knockout or a flashy submission. Instead, he's turning heads for taking on a rare and grueling challenge to weight cuts in just 1 month, after being officially announced as the backup fighter for the UFC 319 main event. Fans were already intrigued, but the real shocker came when it was revealed that Baralho is also scheduled to fight Nasruddin Imavov this September. That's 2 training camps, 2 cuts to 185 pounds, and potentially to high-stakes fights all within a few weeks. Naturally, the MMA community had questions. Is this even safe? Is Caio overextending himself? Can his body handle the pressure? But in true Baralho fashion, the Brazilian remained calm and confident. In a recent interview with the Schmo, he shrugged off concerns, saying, "My weight is under control, everything's good. I've got my diet on point. I'm eating pasta, rice, enjoying carbs, and still staying light." He added that he's currently walking around at 204 to 205 pounds, with over 5 weeks to go before UFC 319. "I feel strong, I feel light, I'm ready," he said with a smile. Considering how brutal weight cuts can be even once, Caio's ability to handle 2 in a single month is impressive. According to him, it's all about staying slightly leaner than usual and maintaining a dialed-in training camp. It's not just physical discipline, it's mental as well. And speaking of mental games, Baralho didn't hold back during the same interview. He called out his upcoming opponent, Nasruddin Imavov, accusing him of lying about being the backup fighter for UFC 319. He said he was the backup. "That's not true. I am the official backup." The UFC confirmed it, stated firmly, "If I get the call, I'll be stepping into that cage." When asked about preparing for 2 different opponents, potentially Khamzat or Du Plessis at UFC 319 and Imavov in Paris, Baralho remained clear-headed and focused. "I'm focused on Imavov, that's the main target, but I'm also ready for anything. If they need me, I'll go 5 rounds of war. And if I don't fight at 319, I'll just make weight again and go get that number 1 spot in Paris." Whether he ends up stepping in at UFC 319 or not, one thing is clear: Caio Baralho is making a statement. He's proving that he's willing to do whatever it takes to earn his shot at UFC gold, even if it means taking the road less traveled. So, what do you think? Is Baralho biting off more than he can chew, or is this a calculated, strategic move from a hungry contender on the rise? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to stay tuned as the road to UFC 319 heats up. The rivalry between Arman Tsarukyan and Ilia Topuria has reached new heights, and Arman isn't holding back. Tensions between the 2 fighters have been simmering for a while, but things escalated significantly this past Friday when Arman took to X, formerly Twitter, to deliver a fiery message that lit up the MMA world. In his post, Arman didn't mince words. Who wants to let Ilia know he's not McGregor and that he's making all the champs look bad? Champs fight the number 1 contender. But this is the same guy who thinks he's the BMF. How do you say bull in Spanish? The tweet went viral almost instantly, sparking widespread discussion among fans and analysts alike. Many saw it as a sharp jab, not only at Topuria's recent antics, but also at the comparisons being drawn between him and Conor McGregor. Like McGregor, Topuria has gained notoriety for his flashy style, confident trash talk, and, according to critics like Arman, his reluctance to fight legitimate contenders. But Arman wasn't finished. Shortly after the initial post, he followed up with a humorous yet pointed video clip of himself devouring a mountain of cheeseburgers. The caption read, "I'm coming for Joey Chestnut next. Let's hope he doesn't duck me." 2. It was a clever troll and other indirect shot at Topuria, suggesting the featherweight champ might be avoiding a showdown with him. The cheeseburgers were symbolic, a tongue-in-cheek way to mock the idea that Arman is staying ready, while Topuria seemingly avoids a real challenge. This social media blitz is more than just playful jabs, it's part of a mounting pressure campaign from Arman, who's been making a strong case for a title shot. With Topuria currently holding the top spot in the division and Arman climbing fast, fans are growing increasingly eager to see the two finally clash inside the octagon. Whether Arman's fiery posts stem from genuine frustration or are calculated mind games, one thing is clear: he's keeping the spotlight firmly on this potential grudge match. The ball is now in Topuria's court. Will he respond? Will the UFC book the fight fans are clamoring for?